How's it going? Welcome to my 1,000 mile owner's review of the Royal Enfield Bear 650. Before I jump into the nitty gritty of the bike, I want to say that it is a fantastic bike. I really love it, but I am selling it, and I will get into why I'm selling it later on in the video. But that doesn't take anything away from the bike. I think it's really great. I like it a lot. Let's go over some of the specs. Basics of the bike: parallel twin engine, 648cc, makes about 47 horsepower, 74 horsepower I wish. 47 horsepower. The seat height is about 32.5 inches tall. It has a TFT display. It weighs about 470 pounds wet. It has a 320 millimeter twin piston front brake and a rear 270 millimeter single piston. This is the long-awaited scrambler that everybody was asking Royal Enfield to make out of the INT 650 or the Interceptor 650. So this is a highly anticipated bike. There's been a lot of other reviews about it, but I've owned and lived with the bike and put 1,000 miles on it, so I figured I would talk about my likes and dislikes and ultimately why I've decided to part with the bike after some time with it. So the differences between this Bear and the Interceptor 650, if you are kind of looking to make that decision between if you want the standard bike or the scrambler style version of the bike, which is the Bear, the seat height is about 1 inch taller on the Bear, has wider flat handlebars. This one has a Showa suspension with 5 inches of travel compared to the 4.5 inches of travel, or sorry, 4 1/3 inches of travel on the Interceptor. Has a higher ground clearance of 7.2 inches as opposed to 6.8, so a whole half inch there. And this one has the new TFT display. The Interceptor does not have a TFT display, and there's also a USB-C port on this bike for charging. Basically, the major differences are ergonomics, right? They raised the ride height, they added wider handlebars, stiffened up the suspension, added more significant suspension to it, all those kind of scrambler-like things. And of course, kind of 50-50 road street going tires. All right, so what do I like about the bike? A lot, to be completely honest. One, the looks. Look at it, it's beautiful. No, I mean really, it's a beautiful bike. I can't say enough good things about how it looks. I really like how it feels on the road. It feels taut and kind of commanding. The rider triangle is very confidence-inspiring because you have a really wide set handlebars. You're kind of sitting bolt up straight. The leg is very relaxed. You don't have really a bend in your knee at all. It's almost a 90-degree bend in your knee when you're sitting on the bike, so super comfortable ergonomically. The noise, it's not too loud with the stock exhaust, but the 2-into-1 does have a nice sound to it. When you let off the throttle, it makes a nice burbling noise. It sounds nice. I really enjoy how this bike sounds, to be honest, stock. And the TFT display is nice. I think I've ridden some other Royal Enfields, and having a modern TFT dash that's in a circle is kind of cool. Yeah, I think it was a smart decision to put that on this bike. One last thing I forgot to mention. A lot of people ask if you can scramble on this bike. I have taken off-road a few times, but yeah, you can definitely take this bike off-road. Nothing too crazy, but I did it on a few kind of half tarmac, half gravel surface roads, and it was very good at it. No issues. Things that I don't like or a little bit funky with the bike, list is not very long. The brakes get the job done, but just barely. Like I said, the bike is about 470 pounds with around a 200-pound rider on it, so it's quite a lot of weight to just have one front rotor and one rear. I feel like they could have done a dual front rotor brake. It's not a very fast bike, but still you can get going quickly enough. You can get up to 70, 80 miles an hour on the bike pretty easily, and to stop that much weight going at that speed, it's, it does the job, but just. Another weird thing is I just don't really like where the USB port is placed on the bike. It's in a weird, hard to get to spot between basically the dash and the handlebars. There's like a little flip cover on it that's spring loaded, so you kind of have to like hold it open with one hand and put your thing in the other hand. I have kind of meaty fingers, as a lot of Americans do, and it's a little hard to finagle holding it open and putting in the USB port at the same time. Just two more dislikes. The suspension is very stiff, even for me. I didn't think it was that bad in the beginning, but then I bought and rode other bikes, and I was like, oh, yeah, the suspension on this bike is pretty rough. I think, you can't really soften it by default. It comes as soft as it will be, and to be honest, I think it's like that because it's an off-road style bike, but I've taken it off-road, and it's just, it helps with the confidence and, like, the feel of, like, how much grip you have. But honestly, if it was a little bit softer, that would be nice, because hitting any kind of bumps or things like that on this bike are pretty rough. I pretty much always stand on the pegs when I'm going to go over something that I know will be uncomfortable. That's just kind of something you have to live with. Or there are some people online who I saw replace the suspension with some other suspension to soften it up a little bit, and they seem to be happy with that. It's not something that I was looking to do because it kind of seemed like a big job, and I didn't mind just kind of standing on the pegs every once in a while. One of the reasons I didn't mind standing once in a while is because the last thing that I don't really like about the bike, and ultimately basically the main reason I'm getting rid of the bike, is the bench style seat. You can see I have the aftermarket higher, more cushiony seat that they sell for this bike. I think it's called like the traditional scrambler seat, something like that. It looks good. It is more plush than the seat that came with it, but I am new to motorcycling. I've only been at it for about 7 months now, and I didn't realize how important a more ergonomically shaped seat would be to me. I have some back problems, and generally speaking, I need more comfortable seats in my day-to-day life. It is not just me that has a problem with bench style seats. I've seen other reviews of the Interceptor and other bikes of this like, and bench style seats went out of style for a reason. They aren't that comfortable. Some people don't have a problem with this. If I was 10 years younger and I didn't have any back problems and I weighed 60 pounds less, I probably wouldn't have any issues with it. I would ride this bike to the end of the earth. But I'm in my mid-30s and I do have back problems, so the seat just isn't cutting it. Let me kind of give you my overall thoughts and opinions on the bike after owning it and riding it for about 1,000 miles. So I think Royal Enfields in general have really kind of nailed and distilled down the essence of motorcycling, and they just have that je ne sais quoi that a lot of new riders are looking for when they get into it. I was one of them, and that's why I bought this bike. It looks awesome, it sounds great, and it just kind of does exactly what you think it's going to do. It executes really well, I think, on what Royal Enfield were looking to create with this bike and the INT kind of field in general, those 650 bikes. I think they just kind of nailed what they were going for. Like, every time I took this bike out, I got dozens of compliments. Anytime I've ridden any other motorcycle, my V-Strom, now my Tracer 9, no one has ever, I haven't turned any heads on those bikes. No one compliments them except other riders, which is nice. But every regular person on the street thought this bike was really cool looking. So there's something to be said that that's kind of invaluable for a new rider. All right, so why am I selling it if I like it so much, right? Well, just like I said, the seat is just not comfortable enough for the type of motorcycling I like. And I didn't really think this would be a problem when I got into it, to be totally honest. I thought what I wanted out of motorcycling when I just started was to just go around town, run errands, just enjoy the motorcycle for a little bit at a time. But the more I rode, the more I realized that I really liked doing longer rides, kind of day touring, going a couple hundred miles in a day, 4, 5, 6 hours on the bike. I'll go out to Western Maryland, Frederick, I'll head north into Pennsylvania, hit the twisties around Catoctin Mountain up into Michaud, and just enjoy myself. And after a few times of doing that on this bike, I just couldn't stand it anymore, essentially. The bench style seat, for me and a lot of other people, is just not something you can be on for hours and hours and days on end. Which is crazy because I see these videos of other people touring on these kind of bikes, and it's just kind of impressive. I don't know if they stop a bunch or they just have iron butts, but I do not have an iron butt. I've had some back problems, and I don't know, I'm in my 30s. It's not that shocking to me that a bench style seat isn't the most comfortable thing. So that was the impetus for me getting into sport touring bikes, and why I don't really ride this bike anymore, ultimately. That's the reason I'm selling it, is just because I don't ride it. It's not that I don't like the bike. I'll still use it occasionally, once or twice a month. I take it out and I will run an errand on it, but I feel guilty kind of letting it sit here. I just don't use it enough, and I want somebody else to enjoy this bike. It's a fantastic bike, and that's why I'm getting rid of it. I haven't actually listed this on Facebook Marketplace yet, but if you go on Facebook Marketplace within the next few weeks, you should find my listing. So if you are somewhere around Baltimore, Maryland, and you're interested in this bike, it's in good condition. I've really enjoyed my time with it, but yeah, I will be listing it shortly, so keep an eye out for that. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more reviews and more test ride videos, I'm going to be doing a review of my Tracer 9 once I hit the first 500 mile mark, and I'm going to be doing some more test rides. I've been talking to some dealerships in the area, and they have seemed to like my other first ride video that I did and some other videos I've made. They're going to help me test ride some bikes, so keep an eye out for that. Hit subscribe if you're interested. And yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Ride safe, keep duels down. Peace.